Hi, my name is Bree and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to talk about the worst books that I read in 2023, and these books are all going to be rated 1 star on Goodreads. But before we jump into today's video, please remember that I made some bookmarks and they are so cute. I mean, look at this. Reading is power. I mean, what's more powerful than that? Then we just got a galaxy one, reading is power. Then we also have these colorful dragon ones. They are inspired by Fourth Wing. If you like these bookmarks, please go to Star Child Art Store on Etsy. The link will be down below in the description box for you to purchase. Without further ado, let's jump right into today's video. So these books, again, just like my best books of 2023, don't have any certain order. So I'm just going by what Goodreads has rated that I rated low first. So the first book we're going to start off with is The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I DM'd this book at close to like 80%, 85%. Like I was so close to the very end, but I just could not push through. I thought the world building was like pretty okay. That was really the only reason why I kept reading it, but there was like essentially no plot, and I couldn't understand why the character was doing these things, and I just felt very confused, and I don't know, I just was not a fan of the plot itself or even the characters. But the only thing I did like was the world build, and that's quite saying a lot considering it didn't really focus too much on the world build. I mean, it did, but it's like focused more on like the characters. I feel like I'm like the only person that does not like this book because everyone else seems to like rave about this book. Like all these other like booktubers that I watch, like they really love Robin Hobb, but this was my first book of theirs, and I just could not see myself reading another one of their books. Maybe one day in the future, if you guys have another Robin Hobb book I should read that's like better than The Assassin's Apprentice, then please let me know in the comments below. Up next is Hunted by Sarah Bigelow. I hated this book so much. It was so, it was a short book too. It was probably like 100 and so pages. It was like really short. Maybe it was a novella technically, but I just did not like this book. I thought the plot was weird. I thought like the characters, like the way they interacted were weird. So essentially like the plot of the story was like this vampire hunter and like his younger brother end up going to like a vampire mansion to like live like a vampire. It's like there's a world where like vampires were supposed to like be shunned and like people hated vampires, but the vampire hunter's brother wanted to like see what they were like. So the vampire hunter, he ends up following his brother because he's like, what are you doing? Like, we're raised to hate vampires. I'm a literal vampire hunter. And the one vampire that lived in the mansion, she ends up falling in love with the vampire hunter, and she's like, it was just so weird. Like they were like trapped in the mansion, and like the vampire hunter and the vampire were supposed to hate each other, but like they loved each other and like ended up like having like sex with each other and like having it at like that's like the wrong time. And to me, like it felt like it was insta love when really like it just didn't make any sense because like I said, they were supposed to hate each other, but yet here they are like googly eyes for one another. But yeah, I didn't like this at all. I thought it was pointless, and the ending had such like a cliffhanger that you had to buy the second book to see what happened, if they like escaped or not, and that just really annoyed me. Like you can't just do that to a plot. Like if that's the plot of your book, you can't leave it at a cliffhanger to the point where like we don't know like what happened. Like you need to have that plot, wrap it up in one book, and if you wanted a second book, then have like a subplot kind of leading to that. You know what I mean? So from like a writer's standpoint, like that craft point was terrible. So then the next book I hated was Hidden Pictures by Jason Recula. I didn't like this book because of the way the author did it. I did not like the plot twist at the end. I thought it ruined the entire book. Essentially, like in the beginning, it seemed like the book was going one direction, and I was like all for that. But then it took like a very turn, and I was just like, that was out of left field. So I'm not going to spoil the plot ending for you guys, but I just hated it so much that it made me drop it to a 1 star. And I also hated it because I did not like the message that the author was trying to convey. I guess they hit a little bit of a spoiler, so if you want to skip it, then I will leave it timestamped. So basically what happened was this couple ended up kidnapping a child, and they forced this child to be an opposite gender of what they were because the couple wanted to have a certain gender child, and it left the child feeling so confused about their gender and so confused about like who they are, like physically and mentally, and it really like messed up this child, and I just absolutely hated that. Like just I just hated it so much. I don't even get me started on it anymore. My blood pressure's raising. The next book I did not like was Our Country Friend by Gary Schickegaard. I know I said that totally wrong. So this one essentially was like a COVID-19 book. I mentioned it in one of my videos that I was essentially doing a research project on COVID-19 pandemic literature, but since there wasn't a lot of literature to choose from, I'm focusing on the cholera pandemic back in the 1800s. This book was going to be one of those books that I read through the project, and turned out it did have the COVID-19 theme, but it did not have what I was looking for, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because I actually hated this book. Essentially, like these people, this group of friends, they go to like someone's house in the countryside away from New York City while the pandemic was at its height. So these people decided to quarantine together. So there was like the main house where like the main couple and their child lived, and then there was like these bungalows on the property where like everyone else kind of stayed. And there was just essentially like no point to the story other than that like they were forced to be in isolation together. Like some people hooked up with who. At one point, like one of the couples switched house with the main couple, so like they lived in the main house and the main couple lived in a bungalow. One of the people that were there was like a big celebrity star, so like he always got his way and was like never told no. So that's why he ended up getting that main house. And also too, another weird thing with that celebrity star, but he was making the wife like give him a bath. And at one point, like in the story, the narrator was kind of explaining that like the wife was like jerking him off in the shower with soap. That was really weird. So yeah, so like this essentially did not hit it for me with plot, did not hit it with me with characters. I hated all the characters, so this was a big no for me. So up next is The Society for Soulless Girls by Laura Stephen. I read this as an ARC. So here's the weird thing. So it was an ARC ready to read for like people who wanted to like, advance readership. So I put a request to read it, got approved. But then when I went on Goodreads, it said that it was published like 2 years prior. So I don't know if the author originally took down the first edition, or if it was just like NetGalley didn't take it down or something. I don't know what it was, but I read the ARC version. I don't know if it's the same thing as like the one I was published before. But anyway, I ended up DNFing this. I did not like the story at all. I didn't like where it was going. I thought I would like it because it's like a gothic like themed like school, and like there's like a murder mystery that happened. The school got shut down and then reopened a couple years later, and the main character was somehow connected to one of those people that were murdered. So that's right up my alley. I thought I would love that. But the reason why I DNF'd it was because it started getting super weird with some of the characters. I actually hated both of the main characters, and they were supposed to be love interests. Hated both of them, and I also really hated that the one main character, the way they brutally murdered a cat, an innocent, sweet little cat for no reason. I was like, yeah, this is, I'm done with it. So I don't know how it ended. I don't know if it got better, but from that point, that broke me, and I was like, no, that traumatized me. So whenever I read a book about an animal, I always go to the reviews to make sure that the author does not purposely kill the animal, because that's a huge turn off for me. But yeah, I'm totally fine with people getting murdered. But yeah, when it comes to animals, you don't mess with animals, baby. You just don't. So the last book that I rated 1 star on Goodreads that I absolutely hated was Stein Here by Claudia Luck. I did not get this at all. Like, I was confused, like, 80% of the book, I was just really confused. It's essentially like you sign away your soul and you get sent down to hell, and you are forced to work at the devil that also gets other humans to sign their lives away. And if like you hit like a certain amount of people, then you get like promoted in the levels of hell. I don't know, something along those lines. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, like, come on, like, you're in hell, you're working for hell, and you have to get people to sign their souls away. I mean, what's better than that? But then the plot just got really confusing with like different timelines and like it was just so weird. Like there was like this big reveal at the end where like you find out like something major about like the main character, and it's just like, I mean, like the author kind of let it there, but it was not what I was expecting, so I didn't really like that at all. And I honestly thought the characters, like the two main like devils, they were really like, I don't know, they were. I was just not vibing with them. Like I thought the one was like an absolute bitch and kept wondering why the main character was keeping her around, and then the other one, I was just like, no, he's just not like a typical devil, and I wanted like a big bad character. He was not it. So yeah, so I did not like it, and I think like the story was like supposed to be like humorous too or something, because there was like a lot of really bad jokes in here that I was just like, you're trying to be funny, but like you're not being funny. So that was it for all the books that I did not like in 2023 that I rated 1 star. Actually, it's actually quite not that bad. I thought there would have been more because I felt like I didn't like a lot of the stuff I read last year. Or maybe it was just more the fact that it was just neutral, and I was just like, 3 stars, like 3.5, 2.5, you know what I mean? So I'm actually quite surprised that I had more for my 5 star reads. But for this year, I am trying to learn to DNF books that I don't like. I don't like stopping a book. Like when I pick it up, I want to finish it. But there's actually this one book right now that I'm reading that I really am not enjoying, and I don't want to DNF it because I'm like really curious to see what it goes. But I don't know, she's not doing it for me. So that's it for today's video. If you liked it, please thumbs up. Comment down some of the worst books that you read in 2023. I would love to know. And if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to ring that bell. So that's it. I will see you guys next time. Bye.